Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Chair Yoga. Today, we're going to focus on expanding our awareness in the body. So what else is new, right? That's always what yoga seems to be about. But this, is a little more particular and a little more specific in that I'm going to bring our awareness to the front body to expand, and that's kind of a common scenario, I think, where because that's our most well-known representation of ourselves, isn't it? It's just how we meet ourselves in the mirror, so to speak, and how we meet the people in our lives is from the front of the body. Um, and then there's the back body, which is, vital to our existence, yet hidden from our view most of the time. And that's pretty much, in the traditions I follow, it represents the vulnerability of us, and more the inner view, our inner perspective is represented by the back body. So we're going to work to expand that awareness in the back body as well. And then what makes it really interesting is the seams. The seams, like when you have a pair of pants, where the front of the pants and the back of the pants meet is, of course, along the seams. And so side body reference, or the seams, is where we start to bring our yoga practice into merging that front body personification with the inner awareness and the more vulnerable back body. So the seams will be a focus as well as we work again to bring awareness to and expansion to that place in our body. So I'm going to meet you right away on the chair, and we'll begin with some breath work. Let's use the block between our shins, so down into the lower legs, so that we're into the seams. We're into the seam of the inner seam of our legs. So see if you can place that in a particular way that you can hold on to it, give it a little squeeze. Might take a little more of a squeeze because it's in a different place. And, position it any way that gives you the experience that you're looking for. I think I was having it lengthwise was a little challenging. So I'm gonna adjust that. All right, so we're of course not into the backrest. We're far enough forward on the chair that we're relying on our core strength. And we start off, as we always do, bringing awareness into the pelvis, so we're sitting properly. We want to make sure we're balanced right to left in that pelvic structure. And the bones of the pelvis really help us bring us to that awareness. So be aware of the sit bones, the bony prominence you feel in the buttocks, right to left. They give you some guidelines, right to left, of balancing, so you're not leaning into one side, or just adjusting that so it feels, you understand that experience of balance, right to left, holding your pelvis in right alignment. The pelvis can also tilt, so we need to bring a front to back reference as well. So I want you to kind of feel your tailbone in the back lengthening down toward the chair's seat. Don't overdo, but just feel your awareness into the tailbone and the sacrum area, lengthening down toward the seat. So that might correct uh, an overarch, I guess, of the lumbar curve. We of course have a natural curve in the back body in that lumbar area, but try not to exaggerate that by just giving a little reference to grounding through the tailbone in that way, just letting your sacrum reach down toward the seat of the chair. Let's turn palms up on our lap. Keep your elbows bent, of course, and you're hugging those elbows in towards your body and towards your waist or wherever they seem to fit. And then start to notice how your body moves as you breathe. So, as always, we transition now once we've aligned ourselves, found the place in our body that feels right alignment is in place. We bring our awareness back to the breathing. And it's a wonderful way to quiet and change gears, to put the things that have been bothering us or taking up all of our headspace to the side for now. It's good yoga in terms of the self-compassion to put things to the side now for your practice of pure pure awareness. You can go back to figuring out and, wringing your hands or whatever those things we do, unfortunately. We can go back to that later if we choose. But for now, find a place of right alignment in your body and then invite right alignment of your mind. So it can bring us right to this very present moment. This is where healing happens. Mind-body connection, awareness of the breath, in and out, feeling this sense of right alignment, body and mind, brings us right into the depth of our existence. The source of wisdom and strength and love, kindness. Palms are open as our gesture of receiving. That's our most common practice, but I also want to encourage, if it's more suitable for you, that you could use that gesture in any way that speaks to you, but I'll suggest this one, and that might be letting go. That this gesture also could be representing letting go of the things that have been on your mind constantly troubling you and thinking that you have to solve it. See if there's anything in you now that allows a letting go and just coming into a place of pure awareness as we breathe in and breathe out. Use this time, once you feel settled and you feel the rhythm of your body again, to set your intention for class, what you need, what you want to feel, how you want to be. Again, I reference Mary O'Malley quite often in my classes. It's a book I keep on the ready, always on my shelf nearby. And she speaks of the let's. We come to a place where we're going to just let life, she says, let it be, let it go, or just simply let go. Feel the fullness of your breath. This is something that we're going to want to encourage all through this practice, is the fullness of our breath. So bringing your awareness into front body, the breath, the initial transition into the breath awareness kind of lends itself to front body awareness. So I'm going to ask you to bring now your hands to your lower belly, maybe just one hand to the very lowest part of your belly. And then the other hand is just right where you start to feel your rib cage. We're trying to find our diaphragm area. So this will help us as we do the Durga breathing practice, Durga pranayama. It is 3-part breath. In its basic understanding, it's 3-part breath. It takes 3 efforts to inhale completely. So you start by inhaling into the low belly and inhaling even further into the diaphragm area. And your final inhalation, or the power, comes all the way up into the chest bone area. And then we exhale and release it all the way back to the seat. So inhale, and hands just walking up your body for awareness. It just gives you more of different image, a different way to experience it. Not necessary at all, not at all necessary. If you're able to just completely bring yourself into the inner awareness of the breath moving like that. The hands are just helpful if you like some assistance in coming into that full awareness. So it's inhale, low belly, inhale further, diaphragm, inhale completely up by the collarbones, and exhale that all the way out. Let your breath be as your breath is, in terms of breath coming in the nose or a little bit of the mouth. However your breath shows up, find it as you inhale the 3-part Durga pranayama. expanding your lung capacity right off the bat. Last time. Hold it. Release it slowly now, like you're blowing out a candle. Great. And let's flutter the eyes open. Take a moment to let yourself adjust to having eyes open again, adjust to the light in your room. Let's extend those arms all the way up, palms to come together overhead. No bend in the elbow, arms as close to the head, as close to your ears as you can do. Push your feet into the floor now. Squeeze that block a little bit. Lift up. Now start to trace what you feel. I'm feeling it in the sides, my sides quite a bit into the armpits. So you're coming into what part? We're taking it all. We're doing front body, back body, side body. So just notice where you feel this experience. Maybe all of them. Great. Bonus. We're breathing in and out, of course, finding both just the rhythm of our breath and the strength of our whole body to lift ourselves up like this. So don't think it's just your arms. Press your feet to the floor, get your legs involved, get your trunk of your body. The pelvis is in good alignment there to support it all. When we release our palms, we're going to exhale and come into like a W shape. So we're going to let the elbows drop toward the waistline and find a little back bend. So you're lifting your chest cavity, your rib cage lifts up. So isn't it interesting when we do, this is considered a back bend, an experience of back bending, but what it amounts to is heart opening, is chest expansion. So we're breathing into that greater expansion around our lungs. See what you can soften. If there's tension or clutching in any part of you, let's not let that go. Let's let that go. Inhale back up, palms together. And one more time, exhale. Find that back bend or heart opener. Managing the weight of your head. Squeeze the block. Feel your feet. Just that much engagement of feeling your feet will help. And then lift up your rib cage and feel the expansion through the ribs. Inhale with me as we bring palms together up and overhead. Exhale now, let's bow into the heart. Take a pause there. Stretch the back of your neck. So keep your spine very long. Again, connecting strongly with your feet to the ground. So when as you bow your head down, you can feel that in the back of the neck. Pull the belly in. Get a nice, strong, stable posture so that you have freedom of movement, letting your head bow down and stretch the back of your neck. Inhale, back up. And exhale, take a big, wide backstroke, opening that back up. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale all the way around. Let the left arm lift up, lift up. So you just start dividing your body from side to side, feeling your breath now, breathing in and out on the left side of your body. So it's just imagining it and intending that your breath is going to follow through the left nostril in and out. But feel that you're in right alignment. Don't lean. Keep your shoulders are right above your hips. You feel kind of squared off in good alignment, but we're breathing entirely left nostril in and left nostril out. Exhale completely. Palms will come together. Let's take an inhale. Both nostrils exhale now. Just breathe normally as you bow into your heart. Inhale back up. Exhale, take a wide sweep. And we're going to breathe through the other nostril as we reach up. Feel that balance right to left. Breathing in and out through your right nostril. It's a way of balancing the body. The right side of the body has a particular energy about it. I'm not going to get into that this particular class. And as well as the left side of the body, a particular energy. So we're just balancing that out by breathing through that nostril and breathing as though our whole side of our body, every part of our side body of this side of the body is helping us to breathe. We'll finish it up with this right nostril breath. And inhale up, palms are together overhead. Look up if you can, check it out. Exhale, bow into your heart. Inhale up and exhale all the way around. I'm going to move the block under the chair for now. I got sweaty already. How about that? And keeping yourself in right alignment. So don't move from where you were. Just allow that, the muscle memory, I guess, of the block to keep you in good alignment now as we begin to do some shoulder rolls, just loosening up through the joints now. We want the joints to be ready for our practice. So we're going to get the shoulders to move up, back, and down. Hands on the lap. Easier, softer way. The arms aren't quite so heavy. So if you're not needing that little adjustment and you want to have your arms alongside the chair's frame, which heavies up your arms, by all means, choose that. And so we're noticing how the neck is completely related to the movement of the shoulders. Let's stop where we are and then change the direction of that rolling action. And now we're going to start noticing what's happening in the back body. When you're rolling your shoulders where the shoulder blades pull away from each other, you're expanding it. You're expanding through that midsection of your back as your shoulder blades pull apart. So I want you to consider as you bring your hands to your lap, I'll show you this from the side, that you're creating a dome of your back body. The roundness of your back that we often refer to as doing the cat pose, or this might be a version of that, the roundness of the back. Think of it as a dome of expansion through your back body. Hands are firmly placed on your thighs, so you feel like you've got a good bracket of support. Pull your belly in and create more of a dome as you breathe in and breathe out. Trying to expand through the shoulder blade area, more and more space between your shoulder blades as you round into a dome. See if you can even imagine that you're breathing through the back side of your lungs instead of the front side of the lungs, like I think all of us automatically think about or imagine anyway. Can you imagine that you're breathing through the back side of your lungs into that dome? So really exaggerate your breath. Remember, I turned to the side just so you could see me. You don't need to make adjustment at all. Good, let's start to soften now. Soften so we're not creating that dome on purpose. We're just softening and it feels like we're just coming back into a good posture, a good alignment, where maybe you would just say, this is good posture for me. And feel the difference, how your body just adjusts in your front body and back body. Let's try a fold now, maybe a little more space between your feet, and glide yourself down, 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 down to fold into yourself. So you've got your head draping down, 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 looking down and underneath the chair, letting your upper body meet your thighs. So this is another kind of interesting way, which we do all the time, but we're just bringing, shining a light on it today, is this front body is laying onto the thighs, which is also part of the front body, folding into that. And we breathe deeper so that we can feel what's going on inside, how the internal organs are affected by our deep belly breathing, which they definitely are. That's not imagination. For sure, You're squishing things up in there, and that's beneficial. It gives a chance some of those organs to absorb more oxygen, to get more blood, get a better blood flow, especially with this intentional breath. A deep belly breath is just fueling and feeding and nurturing all of those internal organs. At the top of your head, drape down. So you feel the release in your neck muscles. One more breath like this. That's an inversion. We don't want to spend too much time. Hands on the thighs. Start making your way up. Go very slowly now, very mindfully, compassionately, bringing yourself into this halfway up position. And we've got our legs in their neutral position, hips distance apart. I usually have you come into a position to work our perineum with our legs a little further apart, which we will do. But for now, let's try it from this perspective, that we're just going to keep our legs in their kind of opening neutral position, our standard hips distance apart. Press your hands into your thighs. Now think of the inner seams where you're squeezing the block between your thighs. Between your calves. Can you get in touch with the inner seams of the legs? And as you inhale, you're kind of coming into the groin, right, following the inner seams so that you start to feel your way into the bony structure of your pelvis, right in through the groin. And then exhale and release all that. Inhale drags you up through the inner seams of your legs, right into the groin, into the pelvis. Hold it, and then you soften and go back to the feet. Let's stay with that breath. Inhale, you come up through the inner seams, press your feet to the floor. Legs are really engaged as you pull yourself into your body, right into the pelvic bowl. And you can start to imagine the bony structure right there at the groin. A couple more now, stay with it. Very active, very strong. And then, of course, the exhale gives us rest. We can just soften and release it. One more with me now. Good. And then just breathe as you normally would. See if you can just extend your right arm past your ear. Reach up, right arm past your ear. Your spine is in that diagonal line. You're not upright. You're halfway up, or even maybe a little more than halfway up. Extend past your ear, right through the hand. Again, so you're feeling that right side of your body doing its thing. Let's switch now. We want to feel the left side of the body as well. Extend past your ear. Maybe bring your hand into a more particular position. I like the mitten hands where you join your fingers together and your thumb extends away. Very purposeful position of your hand. And then breathing through that side of the body, just being really aware of your left side of your body. Both hands on the lap, and we come back to an upright position. Go slow. Take a moment maybe to adjust, but you're in a very proper mountain pose. Let's get our hands alongside the chair with palms facing forward so we don't get sloppy. We're going to stay here and be very in tune with the posture that we've been working on. Nice strong spine, engagement of the legs. And then remember how we're going to try to soften that lumbar curve a bit by letting your tailbone and sacrum just pull down toward the chair's seat. Inhale with me, palms together overhead. Look up if it's okay with your neck. Exhale down into your heart center and then up and all the way around. And again, all the way around. Let's get a wide stance now. Here's where we like to use the block as a barricade. What was the word, Carol? Obstacle, so that we have something to focus on. How we're going to I want you to hold on to the chair though, not your legs. See if you can get back there, holding onto your chair. Now brings you into your back body, feeling the arch of the back body, arms come real close together, but also same time, it is expanding through the chest. So you can feel it, the action of the back body coming into an extended position, but you feel it also as a chest opener. And then we're going to come to the lower part of the body as you just lift up that leg to bring it over from side to side. Just one leg at a time. Find a rhythm of movement and just smooth out your breath. It's not work. It's like effortless breathing that you're aware of it and you're aware of it. Last time, bring those legs together and maybe bring your heels a little bit closer to the chair. Now, we're not going to go into a lot of fanfare here for the twist. I want you to trust your ability to find your twist as you bring your arms to the other side. So your legs are going one way and your arms have turned to go the other way. Now hold on to something. One hand perhaps is holding on to your thigh. Maybe you slip the back hand, back of your hand to press into the back body, or you just find someplace to hold on to the chair back there. Now find right alignment with your spine. So it's up and down, it's vertical. And let your body find the twists and turns as your breath moves through your body like this. There's following the twists and turns of your spine, of your chest, and your head. Keep squeezing your legs every now and then. Feel your feet, feel the strength of your legs, and keep your body well aligned right to left so you're not leaning. And we're going to come out with the head and relax the shoulders and come back into a wide angle. Hold on to the back of the chair. Make sure you're all caught up with your breathing. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, you'll start to lift a leg to meet the other one here. This is low belly work. And low belly work helps to stabilize the spine. That's a part of the abdominals. You know, when you're just sitting up in a chair, just sitting up, your low abdominals are barely firing. That's not really all that much of an effort just to keep you in an upright position, sitting up, sitting down, or standing up. But when you start to get your movement of your legs, then you're going to start to feel abdominal strength in the very depth of your belly, which will, like I said, stabilize your low back. So notice how the front body and the back body work in harmony. Let's bring our legs together now, find our twist setup. As you bring both arms over to the other side, remember to get your feet closer to the chair so your knees are quite bent and they're squeezing together. You can feel your way into this, what feels good, what feels right. But remember, and don't lean, trying to bring your spine vertical. I know I have the advantage because I can see myself in my screen, so I know when I'm leaning. You have to feel your way in, I'm sure, a little different than I do because you're not observing that. Remember to manage the weight of your head. So, of course, turning your head is part of the twisting action. So pay attention to how your neck is faring with all that. Deepen the breath. And we'll unwind the head and the shoulders and bring ourselves back to a neutral position. I'm going to tuck the block. Actually, I think I do need the block, so I'm going to keep it kind of handy. Let's come into a side angle, extending a leg away from center. So you kind of have to move yourself off center of the chair. So you're off to the edge, extending a leg, and then see if you can bring your foot down. Heel down and toes up is a very accessible way of approaching. So if that's what feels like, that's what I could do. Just get my leg out there, my heel is down, my toes are up. That's fine. You can work with that. If you're able to get your foot down, it's a different experience of the inner seam, the seam of the inner legs. So see if you can let your knee point forward as well as your toes pointing forward. We're going to lift up. and bend. Notice how I am not coming near my knee. I don't want to put pressure on my knee in any form. Let this be kind of a flowing exploratory experience. If you could jump your hand past your knee and get a deeper bend, side bend, great. But you want to definitely keep your hand away from your knee. No pressure there. And give yourself permission now to really explore, feel it out. I like to remind you about how you're turning your head. Where's your ear facing? I think it's a really good way to be mindful of how you're holding and managing the weight of your head, keeping it in a neutral position. See if you can straighten your top arm a little bit more. Reach it through its full extension. And then see if you can get your arm to come right into your head and ear. Like that, yeah. And then let's bring ourselves up, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. And we're going to just relocate to the other side. So any kind of reset that your body needs, I'm finding like I got to bend and straighten my knees. That helps my knees, particularly in their little way that they cope, bend and straighten. But any way that you need to reset your body. And then we're relocating to the other side of the chair. Again, heel could be down, heel down, toes up, if that's what fits better for you, gives you the kind of access that you're hoping for. But if you're able to rotate your foot so the sole of the foot is down and your kneecap is facing forward, I encourage you to do that because you're going to be on that inner part of your seam, your inner thigh. Hand is going to be supported on that thigh, and raise the upper arm all the way over past your head and ear. Remember, no pressure on the knee. That's enough yakking. I want you to just feel your way into it now. Let's just breathe. Be curious. The standing leg is the front leg, the bent knee leg. So it should be engaged. It's intended to help you get a base of support. Let's get that ear and arm into, snuggle up together and extend your arm with no bend as much as you're able. And notice where you find yourself noticing your body, experiencing and aware inside your body. Breathe all the way through your exhale. And let's come all the way up. And then we'll bring our legs back together. Good. I want you to straighten and bend. So let's just move through the knees like that. It's not hard. You're just going to straighten the leg and then bend. Maybe you just get some swinging action going. Now lift those bent knees up. Hold on to the chair. And make sure you're far enough forward that you're able to lift your legs with ease. Balanced with your pelvis, lots of support for the pelvis on the chair seat, lifting up, lifting up. Hands are here, bringing your hands up to your shoulders and your elbows are extended away, kind of that chicken wing. And then let's do some abdominal strengthening. Crisscross, that elbow meet the opposite knee. So we're crisscrossing right side and left side of the body, which energetically is always a positive thing to do. Again, it's about balance. It's about honoring the energies of our body. Left meets right, right meets left. Let's do two more on each knee. And release it all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Pull those arms back and arch your back body into the cow pose, the extension of the spine. Hands come to your thighs, round through, then dome your back body into the C-shaped curve of the cat. Let's do two more. I don't remember if I did two. Sorry. I think that's at least two. And come back up. All right, let's try some standing poses now. So I want you to scoot your feet underneath you and get yourself out of the chair. So just boot yourself out a couple times. Practice getting up, getting out. Nice and steady. And then we're going to come to the chair. First of all, let's just come up to a mountain pose. I'm going to eventually use the chair seat to support me. So I just came to face that in a particular way. You can be any way you want as you come into your mountain pose. Remember, palms are facing forward. There's a micro bend of your knees. We need to breathe a full body breath. And since we're working on front body, back body relationship here, let's do the breath that brings us all the way through the front body as we inhale and descends as we exhale back through the back body, kind of creating a circle of breath around your body, elongating the inhale and elongating the exhale as well. Up through the front part of the body, imagination and intention. Exhaling down through the back side of the body, all the way back to your feet. Lately, I've been drawn to the fact that there is a circle that I've made around my body. And so what's in that circle? What's the glow of breath awareness and energy that I've created around my body with this breath? You know, filling it with love and kindness, filling it with respect, filling it with tenderness, that kind of thing. One more breath all the way around your body. Open your eyes, get used to the light, and then meet me in a tabletop position. So you're close enough to the chair that your hands can create table legs for you. I've had a kind of an issue with my wrists lately. So flat palms is kind of giving me fits. So in case I have not taught you this, you can use fist for wrists, it's called. So I'm going to make a fist with my hands instead of palms down. It's less tension in my wrists. So if that's something that happens to work for you, that's great. I'm doing it for that very reason, is because I'm having a little difficulty with my wrist. But if you could just want to bring palms down like you normally do, that's absolutely fine. Now let's create the roundness of our back body, which requires a little softening of the knees, and you're doming through the back. Can you feel the dome shape of your back? And then just sort of neutralize it. Go from fairly neutral spine to the dome shape. And let's get to the edge of the chair. I'm walking myself backwards, so I'm at the edge of the chair, so I've got some space here because I'm going to need it to start an action now. Might want to watch me, but I know you're familiar with this. Rounding into the dome shape, bring your knee up to kind of come towards your nose, and then bring it back down. And you're going to alternate your legs. Dome shape of the back, knee drawn up towards your face, and bring it back down to the neutral spine. See if you can find a vinyasa with that. Inhale, neutral spine. Exhale, rounding the back body into the dome. Inhale, neutral spine. And exhale as you lift your knee up towards your face. If you've lost track of the rhythm of that breath, don't worry about it. Your body will figure it out. And just trust how you're feeling in your neck. How's this working for you? What adjustments do you make? Even if I didn't say it, I didn't say this or that, and you're thinking, but I got to do this. That's what you do. That's your body giving you good information. Let's do one, each knee one more time. When you come back to neutral, let's start walking away from that chair. You can do it right from where you are and extend into that downward dog experience. Hands are on the chair seat, so we're lower. Get your arms as close together as you comfortably can so you can feel how your arms are gliding past your ears, and work on straightening out your legs. I want you to work on the calves, and that work on meaning experiencing it, trying to stretch it, bringing awareness to the Achilles part of your heel and into the calves. Deepen your breath. Keep your chin drawing into your throat so the back of your head, neck, and spine are comfortably aligned. And let's start walking toward the chair. Now, this one is maybe not for everybody. It's a balance pose where you're going to get one leg up in the air. So I've got my standing leg kind of pointing to the underside of the chair, and I'm rotating so that my extended leg has the knee and the toes pointing away, up to the front of the body, up into that direction. So work on that. See if you can bring yourself into a position, and maybe you could even get a hand to the waist. Come out of it nice and slow, step by step, both feet together, and roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time, all the way up, all the way up. And just pause. Stay in your mountain pose, just pause. Again, let's find ourselves in our tabletop, but we're kind of on the very edge of it because I want you to do some more of those dome shape of the back body and drawing your knee up. So we start with a tabletop. Our arms create like legs of the table, and our back body is the table's top. Then we start to round the back body and draw a knee up toward our face and bring it back to its neutral position. So inhale is the neutral position. Exhale is when you're doing the rounding of your back and drawing your knee towards your face. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, rounding or dome. Neutral. Exhale, rounding. Last time, I switched sides because I want to switch legs, so I'm going to get the other leg up in the air. So if you didn't do that, now's the time so that you can position yourself like we did, where the back leg is our standing leg, and we start to use the chair to guide us up and extending that a leg straight out from the hips, perhaps. Use the chair however it serves you. And a leg up in the air might be great, cherry on the top right there. Or you could try for hand at the waist and opening through the chest area. Find a breath. Let's bring ourselves down nice and slow, both feet to the floor. Bend your knees quite a bit. Round yourself up one vertebrae at a time. All the way up. All the way up. Good. Let's take a breath together. Inhale, palms together overhead. Exhale, bow to your heart. Inhale up and exhale all the way around. I'm going to move my chair out of the way a little bit. I don't think I'm needed for support. If you find you do, you bring it right back into play. I'm just taking a wide angle here. The block might be helpful now that I'm thinking about it. Show you what we're going to do, and then you can decide if you want to have a block down there to help you. We're going to bring ourselves, crisscrossing, bringing hands to the floor or the block. So if bringing your hand to touch your toes is way too far down there, you could use your block as a place to go. So you could, if you choose that, if you have two blocks, then you could put one on each foot, but most of us probably have one block. then just do one side at a time for several movements and then switch the block over and do this other side. So you get the idea if you decide a block is something you need. Otherwise, we're just crisscrossing, bringing hand down to touch the toes. Your feet are parallel. All 10 toes are facing the same direction. Crossing right over left, bringing the right side of our body crossed over to meet the left side of the body. Last time, keep your legs in the extended position in that wider angle and just take a pause here. Let's pull the belly in, gets deep into the low belly to pull in through your belly button area. And then soften the knees just a tiny bit. Arms are going to lift up and we're going to grab hold of our elbows and have a frame around our head. Now I want you to do some side to side bends. Doesn't have to be much of a bend at all. You play it out. Arms around your head by design. I really like this as a way to support your neck. So if you can't get your hands to grab hold of elbows, hold on to your arms in any way you can, or just lift your arms straight up. Don't even try to grab if that's it. However you can get your arms to kind of come past your ears, that's going to be useful. I think the arms straight up would be quite a lot more challenging now that I'm thinking about it. Let's release and do what we did when we were in a seated position where we're using our leg to kind of slide down into a side bend. Remember, we're avoiding the knee. Let's come back up, switch to the other side. Arm is close to the head. Good. And then let's bring ourselves back to more hips distance apart or more like the mountain pose. Extend an arm up. Let's get that left arm up and reach toward the back body. Let your fingertips reach toward, the scapula back there. And then another frame. But this time I want you to literally pull that arm back. So you're working it. You're going to pull it back. It's not just held, it's kind of in motion. You're going to use your hand to pull your elbow back so you feel stretching through the back part of your arm. Stretch that out a little bit, work it out. Pay attention to how your neck feels, how you're managing the weight of your head. When we come out of it, let's use a backstroke, a big sweeping action. Let's do another one like that. Exhale it out. And we'll do the other side. So just reach back towards your shoulder blades. And then we're going to work that, trying to pull back. Pull back, stretch it out. That's it. Deepen the breath. Now, if you can get a hold of your elbows again, I'm going to give a side view. You don't need to do anything different. See if you can let that give you a back bend. Soften the knees. Get into your armpits. I've got my upper arms just resting on the top of my head. One arm is just resting on the top of my head. And I'm pulling back with the awareness in the armpits, deepening into that bony structure of my shoulders, pulling myself into the depth of the armpit. Chest lifts up. The chest bone can lift up. The rib cage can expand. Let's come out of that. Go slow now. Slowly out. Arms are just simply reaching up and down. Up and exhale down. Last time. Inhale up. exhale down. Take a pause in your mountain pose. Close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. And just take a little inventory of yourself, scanning your body with your loving awareness. Feeling the breath throughout the body. Let the exhale help you to release and relax. And we'll open the eyes. And it's time to come into our chair again, and we will come into Shavasana now. So remember to scoot way back into your chair so you've got easy access to the backrest. You being at home, if you want to lay on your couch or into a recliner or lay on the floor, or some of you who've done yoga before, put your legs up the wall, all of that is absolutely okay. So you decide how to spend your time in Shavasana now, this whole unraveling. For those of you who get my email, I mentioned in my email a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. Let's just simmer with that as we start making our adjustment into our Shavasana or final meditation time. In order to love, you have to be here. And in order to be here, you have to bring your mind home to your body. So this is that time. We're definitely in that time of bringing our mind home to our body. I'm going to leave the screen so that you are able to just rest in your own way. And me too. I am able to rest in my own way. And a technique for meditation, just to remind you, is to stay in tune with the breath as it comes in and out. So you simply use a mantra like that, in and out. Breathing in, breathing out helps to discipline the mind and keep your whole system at ease. Perhaps you like the circle of breath. You might follow that as a way to discipline your mind to stay at home in the body. Relax your shoulders. Soften your belly. Breathe in. Breathe out. I've got a poem from Dana Falls. It's called Life Here at the Edge. When love lights a fire in the heart, don't be so quick to quell the flames. To be fully alive is to welcome the beloved in countless names and guises, not turn away the wild with the tame. Drink your fill of longing. Let love wash through in waves that lift you up and carry both your daring and your fear straight to unknown places. Yes, there is danger in not staying safely cloaked in morality and labels, but there is life here at the edge, and a choice to be made between thoughtful abandon and passionate restraint. The plaintive cry of the heart can be ignored only at the price of a fully realized life. Throw arms wide to possibilities that move and call you to come forth in freedom and in fullness. Trust the seed of grace within to blossom without sin or sorrow, for you are surely big enough to hold the truth as it unfolds. Let's take a big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth as we sigh it out. Ah. Do at least 2 more of those cleansing breaths as you start to introduce movement back into your body. Eventually, we're going to come together in a seated position with right alignment of the spine in place. So you may need to relocate yourself back to your chair, or just get yourself back to a position where your feet are on the floor and you're no longer leaning into the backrest. Let's take another one of those cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Be noisy with that sigh. Ah. And let's sync up our breath. Inhale, palms come together overhead. Look up. Exhale now, bow into your own heart. Inhale up. Exhale, let's share this peaceful, mindful energy with our communities. The present moment, we've experienced that here and now. Palms come together at the heart in a prayer position. We bow to ourselves and we bow to each other. Namaste, my friends. And as always, thank you so much for joining me.